Om Vakradunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Om Ganganapataye Namaha Shri Durgaye Namaha Om Shri Mahakaleshwaraya Namaha Om Shri Trambakeshwaraya Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Om Shri Bhagavate Sahajananda Swami Maharajaya Namaha Om Sarvamangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Shri Guru Stotram Akhanda Mangalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Guru Stotram. Welcome to Daily Satsang. We are continuing our exploration, examination and contemplation on the Brahma Tattva. What is the Brahman, the Akshara Brahma? This has been going on for last 4 or 5 days now. This is a protracted subject, even to discuss. It is quite profound. But just as a quick review, the word Brahman means the vast, the infinite, without boundary. Everything that is within our purview is within boundary. So that evolution of our mind into the realization of the Atma is the consciousness that we actually are. The knowledge of the self, know thyself, be aware of the self. So what is the self? That is the Atma. That is a discovery. That who am I? And it begins with the question, who am I? Am I this body? Am I this mind? Am I these thoughts and feelings and emotions? Or am I something quite different from all of that? So there are two answers to that question. One answer is that I am the body, I am the mind, I am the soul. With that sense of I am the body, I am the mind, I am my desires, that oneness with the body, the three bodies, physical, subtle and causal, that is called Anvaya Swarup. Jeev Nu Anvaya Swarup in Gujarati. That means oneness with the three bodies. The word Vyatirek means it is separate. The Jivatma is not actually, how can we say, it has not become the three bodies. It's not like that really. They are part of the Maya Tattva. Whatever Maya is, it is part of that aspect. But the Atma Tattva is actually quite separate. So it is Atma Satta, it is different completely. So the realization of this Atma is what we are wanting. Now, along those lines, the significance of realizing the infinite reality, that is the substratum, the Brahma Tattva, the Akshara Tattva, within which all of the universes exist. How many universes are there? Infinite. There is no end to the universes. So, Akshara Brahma is considered to have two forms. There is the formless aspect that is called Nirakara Brahma, which is what most scriptures talk about. In Vachanamrut, Sahajananda Swami Maharaj has talked about also a form, that there is actually a form of the Akshara Brahma in the divine realm. So that's a different matter. We will get to that all later on sometime. Right now what we know is that we have this form. This physical body is what we see. But at the same time, hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. I got a message here from someone. Just a second. Okay, so we're continuing here. So the Brahma Tattva, the word Brahman, as we said before, means vast, infinite. But of course, that is not something that is directly in our purview. Everything we see has a boundary, has a limitation. That is because we are within the universe that we can call the Einsteinian universe. of space, time, and causality. So I want to explain this a little bit here. We are moving through space with this body. The body also has space. Body exists within space. Mind is that which is also existing within space, but that which is more difficult to understand, how that exists within space. So space, time, and causality is where the mind and the body are in that cause-effect realm of this world. Now, the actual anubhav of the Brahma Tattva, that which is transcendent, that which is beyond space-time causality, is only actually available in samadhi. It is called nirvikalpa samadhi. So samadhi is a state of mind. It is a state beyond mind, where there is an evolution of the mind into that superconscious state, into that higher state. So there is that kind of realization, and then in that realization, one actually absorbs in that infinite consciousness and realizes that the soul, the Atma, and the Brahman are one. So that is nirvikalpa samadhi. And nirvikalpa means what? It means without any disturbance, without any dual thinking. Savikalpa means that there is a duality in thinking. Nirvikalpa means there is no duality of thinking. So the point is that this type of an evolution of nirvikalpa samadhi, where there is great peace and silence and the experience of the divine, or the absorption in the state of the divine, this is possible while we're living actually in the body. So this is possible while we are living in the body. So while we're living in the body, we can experience that same type of joy, ananda, while we are living inside the body itself. So that kind of shanti, that kind of peace, that kind of stability is possible when we have profound faith and great reliance on God, on the form of God, sakar nishta, meaning you take a particular form of God, whichever one you are attracted to, in any tradition really, but the feeling is that is God. So when that feeling is there, like Sri Krishna, Bhagwan Ram, Bhagwan Swaminarayan, Sri Ganesha, whoever it is, from the Hindu pantheon we can say, or from other traditions also, when there is a sense that Bhagwan is there, that feeling that God is there, and there is great devotion, great reliance upon God, then the mind begins to experience great stability, integration. It is a type of samadhi without samadhi. Yogic samadhi is where all of the energies and mind and thought, emotion are concentrated using the eightfold process, and then the Sahasrara chakra opens, one goes into Nirvikalpa samadhi. So there is that state of realization. But it is also possible to have the same realization without the chakra Sahasrara opening as such, but it is a realization through jnana. So in some sense it opens, but in another sense it's not like a yogic sense. It's a more intuitive inner realization through wisdom. So that type of a bridge, it's the same thing, but it's a little different in the sense that one may not experience something extraordinary beyond, but one may have that same realization, vision, clarity. It's like a clear understanding of that, which gives the same profound experience. It's something like that. So that's a little bit of a more technical issue, which I won't go into here. But the fact of the matter is that in our life right now, the expansion of our mind is what we're looking for. We want to expand our mind, we want to develop our mind further, our energies further, and that requires the combination of all powers. That's why we say Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, the three goddesses that are the forms of the main Mool Prakriti. What are they actually? They are the powers within the Prakriti that are available for us. If we are connected with the divine power of God, then we can do so many things in this world for the benefit of the world, for our benefit, other benefits, and then that same power has to integrate in the right way. So, for example, there is a link between all three of these. That the Mahasaraswati and the Mahalakshmi, how they're linked together, that they complement each other. All three of them complement each other. One may have, for example, wealth of some certain type. let's say financial wealth. But if the intelligence is not there how to use that for the right way, then one can wind up harming others, harming oneself, or may not even know how to use it at all. So that's a possibility. Now, one may have a great deal of intellectual knowledge and understanding and so many things, but at the same time, one may not know, one may not have enough physical wealth. So in that situation, that wealth follows the Mahasaraswati. This is interesting that the Saraswati Tattva is such that Lakshmi Tattva follows Saraswati. But Lakshmi Tattva is such, Saraswati Tattva doesn't necessarily follow Lakshmi Tattva. It can. If it does, it's the most beautiful thing. Then they complement each other. And then the Mahakali Tattva destroys ignorance from within the mind. So the point of the matter, the point here is that these three, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, they combine together to open the doorway into the Brahma Tattva. That is the whole point, into the Akshara Tattva. They combine together, meaning that all of our internal world that we're living in, the actions we have, the desires we have, these things we become aware of, and we realize that there are aspects of our desires that need to be transformed and destroyed. That is Mahakali. There are aspects of our life that need more growth and more understanding. That is Mahasaraswati. And then there is the development of energy and power overall. That is Mahalakshmi. So when the three combine together, they evolve. The energies within us evolve, and the broad view, 360-degree vision occurs. That 360-degree vision is the same thing as opening of the Sahasrara Chakra, Agnya Chakra, Sahasrara Chakra. It is a greater vision. It is a greater vision of seeing one's life from all aspects. Many times we're seeing in a very narrow way. But when the vision broadens further and further and further, then at that point, there is a much greater realization all the way around, so that the clarity begins to dawn from every angle. We can see, for example, that there are many aspects to so many things in life, that there are many aspects to the type of experiences we have. But any experience we have must be looked at in a very, very broad way. And if it is not looked at in a broad way, then it will be a very limited way of trying to experience life. So the broader the vision, the greater the freedom. This is the point. While we're living in this world, when we say that I am the Brahman, Soham, I am Atma Brahma, this Upanishad has 6 Mahavakyas. So Soham, I am that. Well, what am I? I am that Atma, I am that consciousness that is vast and unlimited and pure and divine. And I am not this limited being with all the confusion. So the confusion, the distortion, the limitation, that is not me. So this differentiation between the Atma and the Anatma, according to Vachanamrutam, Sajanand Swami Maharaj, Bhagwan Swaminarayan, he said that the more attachment you have towards Ishta Devata, your chosen deity, to that extent, this differentiation occurs. It's a very practical thing to understand. Even Adi Shankaracharya ji has talked about bhakti, that bhakti is a foundation for jnana. So you will see that there's a similarity in the teaching there. And this is experiential. More than anything else in our life, what is our experience that we want to get to that realization? Soham, this is a mantra. This is a Vedic mantra. It is a mantra. Soham, Soham, Shivoham, Shivoham, I am Shiva. I am that consciousness. Soham, that is a mantra. So that's a sound vibration. It is a mantra that takes the mind and connects it with the Brahma Tattva. It's a connector. But it is also a Mahavakya. Mahavakya means one sentence, one word, or one phrase that has infinite truth within it. That is called Mahavakya. So there are 6 Mahavakyas. Soham Tattvam Asi, thou art that. Thou art not this, but thou art that. And so that evolution, that wisdom dawns. Jnana is wisdom. It's not information. Information is just information. It's quantitative information. Jnana is wisdom. It is the clarity, the proper vision to see things as they are from all sides, and particularly seeing things as they are for oneself. So to be able to see things as they are for oneself is the key in one's life. So there is something called Vyashtideha. Vyashtideha means personal self. So if I see myself, my desires, my thoughts, my experiences, my actions, whatever I have done, whatever I'm doing, if I see myself in that as it is, without bias, without distortion, without my ego interfering, to see myself clearly, that is the doorway to the Atma. The Atma is not something that anybody can realize until one can see clearly, without bias or distortion, one's entire mental structure. So the mental structure has the 5 parts: thoughts, emotions, memory, desire, energy. When we look at our internal life, what do I see? I see so many memories, so many people have come and gone, so much is the content within the mind. I see that it is there, but I am not stuck in the mind. That realization that I am free from the content of the mind, I am not entangled in the mind like a web, like a bug that is trapped inside a web. No, I am not stuck inside there. I am different from that. That is Vyatirek Swarup of the Atma. That is Soham Tattvamasi. Who am I? I am the same as that Brahman. The substance is the same. I am not stuck inside the content of my experiences. The experiences are there. They are continuously being recorded in the brain. But who am I? I am an evolved being. So that evolution occurs when the Guru Tattva plays the role. The Guru Tattva becomes active from inside, always. It becomes active from inside when we are able to perceive that the me, that the sense of me, that this is Sachin, my memories, my thoughts, my desires, my this, my that. All such things are actually like waves in the ocean. They're there, but they're not there. They're there, but they come and go, come and go, come and go. What is that ocean? That is the Brahman. Who am I? I am the observer of all of the experiences. I am the one who is experiencing the experience. Now to get to that stage, tremendous devotion. As I mentioned before, I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday, the divinization of the inner world. We live in an inner world, right? We have thoughts. Do we think? Yes. But what are we thinking? If we think in terms of the 3 gunas of Maya, Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamogun, then that is what we will be. But if the thoughts evolve beyond that into what is called Brahmachintan, that, I want to contemplate on the scriptures and the lives of the great sages and the charitras of the incarnations, if I'm thinking on that in that way, then the mind will resonate with that. Whatever the mind is thinking about, it will become that, and that will be our experience. It's as simple as that. And so the mind, see, Amrut Bindu Upanishad says, Man eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Amrut Bindu Upanishad has 36 verses only. It is an extraordinary Upanishad. It's Amrut Bindu, drops of nectar. And what is it saying? That one's own thoughts and emotions and in our inner world, the mind, mana, man eva manushyanam, for every human being, the mind is the cause of his own bondage. There's nobody else that is binding us except us. And if we want to be unbound, or we want to experience certain reality in life, Veda mantras are there, the Upanishads are there, the Puranas are there. There are many ways of experiencing what we want to experience further in the world, in this material world. And then so the Vedas, the Veda mantras, give us the more enhanced experience of the waking state, dream state, and also of the 3 lokas. But Vedanta takes us beyond that. It's the end portion of the Veda. That is where this Brahma Tattva comes into play. That which is beyond, that which is transcendent to the material world, that which is beyond all of the dualities of the material world, that is called Vedanta. So the Veda and Vedanta, what is the difference? Veda is that which is Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Bhagavad Gita. The Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamogun, the 3 gunas of Maya are the subject of the Veda, believe it or not. Vedas are actually describing what is Maya, and they will give you the experiences of the waking state, dream state, deep sleep state, and the experiences of the 14 lokas. But Vedanta is the end point where, yes, you may experience the highest level of material experience, But then it says, even after experiencing that, go to the Vedanta. Vedanta is what? Go to the infinite. Even if someone is the king of 1 million galaxies, not just king of the earth, somebody is the king of the cluster of galaxies. That's it. They have these cosmic clusters. So what? That's a very small thing compared to the infinite. You see? So in Akshara Brahma, within one speck of Akshara Brahma, there are infinite universes. So if somebody is the king of a cluster, king or a queen of a cluster of galaxies, that is 10,000 galaxies. So what? That's just a drop in the ocean of infinity. It's not a big thing. It's relatively big, yes. Relatively, we can't even imagine it, probably, from where we are. But from the point of view of Akshara Brahma, it's nothing. It's just the tiniest little thing. It's a droplet. Not even a droplet. So it's relative. When the Jivatma is so evolved into the higher realm, there is so much opening into the higher dimensions, step by step from the 14 lokas onwards, all the way up to the Akshara Brahma and the Parabrahma Tattva, which we're going to talk about. That's why I'm mentioning it briefly here. There's so much opening that occurs that the sadhaka is flooded with joy, is flooded with mystery, is flooded with mystical reality. So the mystical realization begins to occur, and there's so much to be said about it, obviously. But nonetheless, the fact of the matter is that who we are, once we begin to realize the binding nature of our mind, and then the freeing nature, man eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. The karana meaning it is the cause. What is the cause? When the mind becomes the cause of its own freedom, that is the Guru Tattva entering into the mind. Guru Reva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guru Tattva becomes active inside, mind becomes free. Human being becomes free. If the Ajnan is there, Guru Tattva is not active, one is bound again and again in ignorance. One is bound again and again within the realm of Maya. And just revolving again and again. And that revolution is called reincarnation, metempsychosis, or transmigration. So there are many ways of trying to understand that. The point of the matter is simply that we have an extraordinary opportunity through the Sanatana Dharma. I don't like to use the word Hinduism. We can use the word Hinduism, but in reality, these scriptures, there's not a single scripture where the word Hindu is there or the word ism is there. This is an idea given by the Western people, Western philosophers, or whoever they were. They could use the word Hindu, and the British use that word and all that. That word is not there anywhere in the scriptures. So there's no ism. It's not one particular viewpoint, and there's no word like Hindu also. The best way to describe the tradition is Vedic tradition. Now the more popular expression is Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana means the eternal Dharma. Dharma means what? Dharma means Sad Acharan, how to live life, how to think, how to retune yourself. That is not about a sectarian approach. It is universal. It's like chemistry or biology or physics or medical science. You cannot say that it is part of just one group of people. It is universal. Similarly, the knowledge of Vedanta is universal to everybody. It has nothing to do with any sect or any particular group of people. It is universally present for all. And that is the glory of the Akshara Brahma. That is the glory of a true Sadguru. That is the glory of the scriptures of the Sanatana Dharma. And that is the glory of the evolution from within into that state of Nijatmanam Brahmarupam Dehatraya Vilakshanam Vibhavetena Kartavya Bhaktihi Krishnasya Sarvada, the ultimate state of realization, where one is the Brahma, in Brahma Bhav, Brahma Swarupa Bhav. When you are in that state, and in that liberated state, one is in the devotional service of God as per Vishishtadvaita. Alright, so that is one way to look at all of this. We will continue this further tomorrow. Just one or two more points I just want to just quickly mention, that the concept of Maya, which we have not touched too much upon, one of the interpretations is that, very quickly I'll just mention a couple of points, that Maya can be considered to be a special power of the Akshara Brahma. Sometimes it is considered that way. Some in Advaita Vedanta, it is considered. In the Vachanamrut, it is considered to be the power of Parabrahma. The Parabrahma is the Supreme Lord, actually, with Sakar, with form. not male or female, but that's God actually. And that is one of the powers of God is this Maya. So that is one way to look at it. It depends on the sampradaya, depending on the approach taken. Whatever Maya may be, whatever it is, it will be helpful for us and beneficial for us if our intention is to realize God. Then everything aligns in the right way. All we have to do is set the intention. If Sachin sets the intention that I want to reach the Paramatma, the whole of Prakriti, the whole of humanity, the whole of reality will help me to reach that realization. And if I don't want that, and if I'm running after simply the experiences of the material world, then the material world will bind me. It will still keep running after me, but in a binding manner. There's two ways that the Prakriti runs after the individual. It runs after the jiva to bind the jiva, because the jiva wants to be bound, and it runs after the jiva to free the jiva. See, the Maya works both ways. It can bind the individual and it can free the individual. It depends on where we are. That is where the Guru Tattva is most essential. The Gurus are showing us how to be unbound, to go into the higher realization. And without Guru Tattva, it is nothing but bondage. There is no evolution of any kind. That's why we say Matru Devo Bhava, Guru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava. Right from childhood, so many Gurus are there. Without Gurus, there is no evolution. Dhyana Mulam Gurur Murti, Mantra Mulam Gurur Vakyam, Puja Mulam Gurur Padam, Moksha Mulam Gurur Krupa. Without Guru Tattva, nothing is possible. Then there is only a state of ignorance. So Guru Tattva is everything for the Jivatma to evolve into the Brahmic state ultimately. And so it's very interesting to keep this in mind. Maya can be thought of in two ways. One is the binding aspect. If one who is running after the experiences of Prakriti, the Prakriti will run after that jiva and bind the person further. And one who is saying to Maya, I want to be unbound into the higher realization, Maya will say, okay, no problem. If that's what you want, then the Maya will support you. That Mahalakshmi, Mahakali, Mahasaraswati, all of the forms of the goddess, they support the individual for the Jivatma to make that journey into the higher realization. It all goes back to what we want. What is our desire? What is our intention? It goes back to all such things, and that is the foundation of all sadhana also. That is the foundation of all growth in life. It is always desire. It is always me. What is it that I want? And so on that basis, we will continue this tomorrow.